Hey, KJ. And you're not an idiot. Alright. Alright. We have KJ. We have Barely Lightfoot. 1700. What's up? We're just getting started. Huh. Almost forgot. Yeah. So we got 2 games today. We got a game called Tiny Bunny. I don't know if you guys heard about it. And we're playing. You kind of sound off. Are you okay? I don't know. The issue with making this a hobby, and I don't have to please a whole lot of people, is that I don't really feel needed to do it. But I like switching from thing to thing. I get tired of doing one thing and I move on to the next thing. Unfortunately, me doing this, I fear I'm getting to that point where I'm starting to get tired of it. And I want to move on to the next thing. But I don't want to do that. I enjoy talking to the fans, whatever fans I do have right now, and whatever fans I will meet. I want to talk to you guys. And it's just a very slow process that it's draining. Because I see like Marcus and everyone else who gets so many viewers, and I don't do it for the viewers. To get viewers, I don't do it for that. I will do it for you guys, but just keep going. It's just a feeling I have to fight. It's not as easy as just keep doing it. It's something I have to just push through. But yeah. It's fine. I mean, I don't have an avatar like Marcus does. It's kind of like losing weight. It's fucking hard, but it'll be worth it. And I know this since I'm trying it. What's your weight loss routine? Why don't you tell me about that? I want to interact with you guys. I wonder if I should just have a chat session with you guys. But it's not like you guys I'll come in at the same time, So I don't know how well something like that would be. I'd probably just sit here in quiet. Writing like 20 clicks almost every day. Definitely bike riding is the way to lose weight because you're burning energy. It's like You're not really working your core, but you don't really need to work your core in order to do that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'm talking out my ass. On my bicycle trying to jog and not eating and drinking sugary stuff. Oh yeah. I have stayed away from soda and a lot of sugary drinks and food for quite a while. I mean, every now and then you have to have a cheat day by what I've heard. I don't really believe that, but you never know. So every now and then I might get myself a snack, but that's few and far between. So far, I've noticed I weigh less, but that's about it. I still got a belly. But yeah, I've been staying away from sodas. Coffee, every now and then. I don't drink it all the time. The caffeine's really hits you once you get off of that. Going from drinking a lot of caffeine to none, and then drinking caffeine, it definitely keeps you awake. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, it's 8:02, so we'll go ahead and start. All right. Give me a moment. I gotta. Oh, I'm over here for some reason. That's better. Is it going to capture it? It doesn't seem like it. There we go. English. Warning, this game contains offensive language and scenes of physical and psychological violence. Proceed with caution. Tiny bunny. Have you guys seen this? Honestly, never played it. I have seen some instances on YouTube, but nothing past the prologue. And I know what kind of game it is. It's a psychological story system of game. Basically, it's a visual novel, a horror visual novel. Oh, wow. Derp and Mr. Flux, what's up? Spooky. Yes, it's spooky time. Like I was saying earlier, I have 2 games for this stream that I plan on showing. tiny bunny, or however long this goes on. I think it's not done yet still. So we'll continue with this until it's done, or I feel like it's done. And then we're moving on a game I've actually never heard or seen anything about, and looks really good. It's got overwhelming positivity, so I'm interested to see how it works. I've heard it's pretty scary. But let's get into this. Give me one moment. I want to see something. The window clawed at my window. The wind clawed at my window all night long. Oops. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, snary, twined in the air. They were shouting and laughing and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creak close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own, the creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot in its days, and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark gray thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whizzing, swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves there was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still. Oh, there's a face in that. Episode 1. The Owl Will Arrive.
Убери книгу немедленно.
Hey, put away your book.
Сколько раз говорила, не читай за столом, вредно. Сидишь, сутулился весь.
How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan the Barbarian aside. I was stuck on a line, and I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Aurelia had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic, she almost looked like your typical girl from commercials.
Пока не съешь, из-за стола не встанешь.
You're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes, as if it would make the porridge disappear. Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night, the black forest around our house, and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish from the Crystal Odyssey. I loved that show. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is, or how cold the black forest is at night. The spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes.
Что я говорила?
What did I just say?
Я достану.
I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this? Carved on the other side of the table. Karina. Ha! That's my mom's name. I guess she carved it out with something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal, damaging the furniture like that. She could scold me for a week if I did something similar, though. Should I remind her about it? No, she's been in a bit of a bad mood lately. I imagined her being my age, sitting under this table. I wonder, was Mom afraid of the dark back then? Or the sounds coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? I imagined my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed, where Olya sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice.
Тайга — особое место, дитятка.
Taiga is a special place, little girl.
Она к тебе присматривается, принюхивается,
It's watching you closely, sniffing you out,
словно хочет понять, что ты за зверь такой.
trying to discern what kind of beast you are.
Понравишься, в беде не бросит.
If you're a good soul, it won't abandon you in times of trouble.
А будешь проказничать, схватит за бочок
But,
и утащит с собой под землю.
but if you're a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you underground.
Тут и дело с концом.
And that would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without demanding screams until late at night, without smashed dishes and mutual accusations. Our parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening in on one of their conversations by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She had already bought a casket, and she called it her cute funeral box. It waited for its time in the closet, patiently. It was black, upholstered with neat-colored material on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. They all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from under the table. Olya was done with her cookies and then was looking at my share with a sly woodland critter. I turned my gaze toward the frosted window. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of frost formed a picture on the glass.
Оля, гляди, лиса!
Oh yeah, look, it's a fox. Yep, there it is.
Где?
Where? It almost looked like those optical illusion thingies they put on the back of student notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, if you blur your vision a little bit, and look under a certain angle.
Да не на улице, на
Not
стекле.
outside, on the window.
Смотри, вот нос, вот.
Look, here's the nose, and here's...
Ну-ка, доедай.
Hey, eat up.
Да, да, сейчас.
Yes, just a moment.
Я ничего не вижу.
I don't see anything.
Живо. Совсем немного осталось.
Hurry up, there's not that much left.
А, вот! Но все равно не похоже.
Ah, there it is, but it still doesn't look like
А
that.
я говорю, похоже.
And I'm telling you it does.
Не-а.
Nuh-uh.
Похоже.
It does.
Прекратите. Ну что за дети?
Stop it, these kids, I swear. Now I couldn't see the fox either. It disappeared. Went away. Only the frosty pattern, similar to stretched out nettle leaves, kept creeping up the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up. Mom would always ask jokingly, "Come on, shave it off, it stings." This was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Olya always covers her ears whenever she hears something like, "What's the point in all this?" through the walls. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply, "for the sake of our family." I always caught every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word that started with a D. D-I-V-O. I don't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into 2 different families.
Да что твоя лиса? Вот у меня на окне сова.
Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl in my window.
Опять ты со своей совой.
You and your owl talk again.
Так ты же вчера мне верил.
You said you believed me just yesterday.
Никто ключи от машины не видел?
Has anybody seen my car keys?
Вроде оставлял на
I
подоконнике.
remember leaving them on the windowsill.
Вроде.
Right.
Вроде оставлял,
Maybe you
вроде
did,
нет.
and maybe you not.
Вроде взрослый мужчина,
You're
отец
grown
2
man,
детей,
the
а
father of
вроде...
2, and still.
Перестань, пожалуйста, Карина.
Karina, please stop.
Дай мне спокойно собраться.
Just let me get ready in peace.
В корзине твои ключи, возле телефона.
Your keys are in the basket, near the phone.
Огромное тебе человеческое спасибо.
Well, thank you very much.
Антон, ешь быстрее, а то как мученик сидишь.
Anton, stop making a martyr out of yourself and finish eating on it.
А сова?
But the owl.
Не было там никакой совы.
There was no owl.
Была.
But there was one.
Глазюки огромные. Во, и светятся.
It had giant glowing eyes. What's up, Clear? Olya sprung up from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers the size of an apple
В
each.
прошлом году бабай в шкафу. Сейчас сова?
Last year, you had Babai in your chest, and now
Я
this?
же
Babai, in Slavic folklore, a nocturnal spirit used by parents to threaten their ill-behaving children. But I saw it. Olya shifted her gaze back and forth from dad to mom to me, but couldn't find any support.
А ты не думала подружиться с ней, нет?
Have you thought about befriending?
Вымышленными мышами покормить,
You
например.
know, like feeding it with imaginary mice.
Не подначивай ребенка.
Don't bully our girl.
Просто мала еще.
She's
И
a-
спать одна боится.
She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Olya pouted her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh, that look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted and replied and left, ringing with the keys he just found. A minute had passed and the theme song from The Little Mermaid echoed through the house. It was stored on incredibly worn-out cassette tape, which Dad already had to glue together once. It's so easy to fix objects by gluing them back together, for example. But how do you fix a relationship? Mom moved to the living room, and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Olya had trouble sleeping ever since we moved into the house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped to take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parents. And then Olya says she saw that giant flying monster outside her window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Olya refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that Al was just one of her nightmares. After tonight, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? Just last night, I couldn't get a wink of sleep. I ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. There were a couple days left before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures, cut out using a template. Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creatures were looking at me from behind the flat black silhouettes. Their cruel glares, filled with icy sneers, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down? Stomp on me with their bloodied shoes? The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wish for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who are just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore may be an outsider, or some sort of monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Oya begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagined Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You got the wrong number." Or, "Anton is not around." Anton is not around. I imagined my future classmates lying in their beds just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all. But who would ever elect a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. The house creaked, pressed by the window. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mumbled with the TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I can't really call it new, was completely different. It was silent and easygoing during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners, on the closet cobwebs, and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner. Almost as if the old photos of my deceased family, with their ashen eyes, were hanging on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaky, rusty drains were moaning. The attic was occupied by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. And then I realized I was, in fact, hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed in with the sound of the wind or the creaking old house in my thoughts too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like something is playing it there. I won't miss the cold, snowy night, right? Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out, with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basked in moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around, and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at times, circled around, holding hands or whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment and then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Suddenly, the music had stopped. The dancing shadows froze in place and, I could swear, pierced me with their eyes. And one of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. Oh, that's creepy. It glittered on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like the bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back toward the bed. They saw me. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guests move and scrape around, looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at the front door. I jumped into the bed and covered myself with a blanket as if it could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remembered the funeral, my grandma laying there, hands crossed at her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of my chairs that held my grandma's casket. I imagined those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. Then her winkly eyeballs would once again move inside their sockets, and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me through the whole procedure. And now, lying under the blanket and listening to squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words.
На острове Буяне, в синем океане, стоит домовина, в ней сало и глина, волосы седые, чертям еда, раба Божьего Антона не тронут никогда.
On the island of Budian, underneath the blemished sun, in a sea of color blue, stands a cabin made of wood.
Бесы запутают дорогу к дому.
Evil leaves us half must.
Мертвые к мертвому, швое к швому.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains waving around like a hangman. And then the night doused me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sound scratched on my eardrums. In reality, or something, or someone was scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he stalled a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intently as if he was looking for someone.
Мертвое к мертвому,
Ashes to ashes,
живое к живому.
dust to dust. I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. And then the doorknob twitched slightly. Then it turned halfway, once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more, and then started kicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear, and wet fingers clutched the blanket. The door creaked and opened. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now you'll see. The door was wide open. The darkness rides inside the carnivorous mouth of a doorway. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with its rusty hinges. I was trembling, ensnared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of the gaping black hole. My abdomen tightened and chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me,
Ты спишь тоже?
"Tony, are you asleep?" My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief.
Оля, я не сплю. Что случилось?
Oh yeah, I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Olia frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry.
Она опять прилетела и пялится на меня.
It's there again, staring at me.
Прогони ее, Тоша.
Shoo her away
Прогони,
from me.
пожалуйста.
Please.
Я так боюсь.
I'm so scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Olia
Это
down.
был сон, глупая. Не пугайся.
It was just
Сны
a
не
dream,
кусаются.
silly.
Никто тебя не обидит.
Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's going to harm you. Olia sobbed. She tried her best to believe me. But was I sure myself? Something, step bro?
У меня есть идея.
I have an idea.
Пойдем к тебе в комнату, видик посмотрим. Спящую красавицу, например.
Let's go to your room and watch the video Sleeping Beauty, for example.
Тебе же нравится этот мультик?
You like that cartoon, don't you?
Почему у спящей красавицы принца у меня эта страшная птица?
Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have this scary bird? That question took me by surprise.
Ладно, давай посмотрим Золушку.
Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its eyes while dancing feverishly under the moon? The darkness was clinging to the window, and it couldn't be fooled by Grandma's old chants. It couldn't be satisfied with a feast of lard and long ashen hair.
Тоша, ты идешь?
Tony, you coming?
Да, сейчас.
Yes, just a moment. Oh. Did that get anybody? What are you chewing, Stepwolf? No. It did make me jump, I'll be honest. Just a little. Alright. I got hairs on my mic muff. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Olia and her owl in the morning. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from a silly thought that our morning guest could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet, under the table, behind the curtains where Olia always hides.
Тоша, подойди-ка сюда.
Tony, come here. I felt like kettlebells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them toward the hallway. A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars, worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused.
Здравствуйте.
Hello. The senior officer who wore a grim expression nodded.
Тут мальчик вчера потерялся. Вовой зовут.
A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name is Volvo.
Глянь, пожалуйста. Ты его не видел?
Please, have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me. There is a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a white smile.
Нет.
No, I haven't.
Точно?
Are you
Посмотри
sure?
внимательнее.
Look closely.
Где мне его видеть?
Where
Я
would
тут
I
никого
see?
не знаю. Да и из дома-то почти не выхожу.
Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house.
А может, видел в окно?
Well, maybe you've seen him from the window.
Да. У тебя ведь окна на лес.
That's right. Your windows look straight at the forest, don't they? The window.
Нет, не видел.
No, I haven't seen anything.
Ясно.
I see. He sounded tired, but his eyes, his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt, which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway. The stairs and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason.
Вы, кстати, как на новом месте? Попривыкли уже?
Do you like the new place by the way? Getting used to it?
Понемногу. Только вот дочка маленькая по
Бай-бай.
городу скучает.
It's just a little daughter misses the city a lot.
Скучает, значит. Из местных вас никто не беспокоит?
Misses the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well?
Все хорошо, спасибо.
Yes, everything is alright. Thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his gray eyes. My head started spinning.
Может, вам помочь как-то?
Can I help you somehow? I asked that in a shaky voice to look like a polite boy and to end his unpleasant conversation soon.
Я вот стою и думаю,
Now that I think about
ты,
it,
малец, на племеша моего похож.
you look just like my nephew's little friend.
Шустрый парнишка твоих лет.
He's
С
a
такими
witty-
же окулярами. Все книжками зачитывался, детективами.
He's a witty boy around your age. Wears the same type of goggles. Anyways, engrossed in reading those mystery novels.
Когда летом погостить приезжал, говорит, что в школу милиции мечтает поступить.
Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family visited this summer.
Как я. Хотел людям помогать. Смекаешь?
Wanted to help other people just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative, not a police officer, stood before me.
Ох, ребятушки,
You know what?
сидите-ка вы лучше дома. Не ввязывайтесь ни во что.
Little boys.
Жизнь сейчас совсем другая пошла.
Little boys like you should stay at home. Steer away from trouble. The times have changed so much. Mom interjected in a cold voice.
Мне ли не знать?
You don't
Ну
say.
да ладно.
Ah, well then.
Ты, Антон, в каком классе учишься?
What grade are you in, Tony boy?
В 6-м.
6th.
Друзей-то на новом месте еще не завел?
Have you made any friends here so far?
Пока нет. Я только после каникул в школу пойду.
Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break.
Тогда вот вам на всякий случай мой номер. Звоните, если узнаете что.
Ah, then I'll leave you my number just in case. Call me if you have any new info. The policemen were gone along with their shadows, the smell of cheap cologne and the photo of a smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes. I wonder what it was like for him, being all alone there. For some reason, I thought of the horse swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I had gone missing? Would they cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other like they always do and forget about me eventually?
Мам, а Вова этот в нашем лесу заблудился?
Mom, does this Vova, did he go missing in our forest?
Выходит, что так. Бедный ребенок.
Seems like a poor child. I looked out the window at the road. The police UAZ drove off toward the village. A Soviet and Russian off-road freight passenger car brand which was produced by the Ulanovsk car factory. The officer's nephew came to mind when splitting off old paint from the windowsill. Or all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I've read this summer. A series of contemporary Russian original or translated teen mystery books. Okay. Your average boys and girls investigated all sorts of mysteries there. They looked for clues, spied on suspicious people, and after a set of amazing adventures, BAM! Solved any complicated case. They became the local celebrities and must have made the parents very proud. I noticed a trail of policemen's footprints that led to the forest. And then it clicked in my head. Why don't I start an investigation of my own? Maybe I'll find that lost boy. And I'll get a reward. Olya will be so happy. And not only Olya, Mom and Dad too. Maybe they'll even forget about their quarrels for a while. Maybe I'll even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Olya a Tamagotchi and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself. And a whole box of Kinder Surprise. When was the last time my parents bought us any toys? Last autumn, I think. My dad had lost his job at the time. There's that annoying song about it. Accountant. A song by an all-female Soviet pop band by the name of Kombinatsiya combination that became widely popular in the early 90s. I had little to do, no idea what was the accountant's job like. They count money, I think. Neighbors used to envy us. But nowadays, Mom and Dad barely had money to afford sweets. And Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Olya. Sometimes I gave her my share, too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was still just a pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out looking for clues.
Пойду погуляю.
I'm going outside.
Ага, сейчас.
Yeah, right.
Чтобы потом милиционеры с твоей фотографией по домам ходили.
You want the police to go around with your photograph next.
Лес вон какой густой.
The forest is so thick.
А если мальчика звери дикие утащили? Или
What if
того
the boy
хуже?
got snatched up by wild animals or something even worse? Even worse, echo through
Да
the
я
hall.
рядом буду. В лес не пойду.
I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest.
Что я тебе сказала? Мне дважды повторять.
Did you hear what I said? Or should I repeat myself?
Лучше портфель собери или соли поиграй.
Better go pack your school bag or play with Olya. A sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. It meant that the argument was over and Mom had the last word. Interesting. This cross had seen so many people come and go in this house. It was black as if it would absorbed all of human sins for the long years it was hanging out of the ceiling. After Grandma died, Mom was going to take it off and hang a horseshoe in its place as a lucky charm. But she cut herself with a sharp cross corner and almost fell from the stepladder. Dad called it a sign from above and ordered the cross be left alone in its rightful place. That sucks. My parents prohibit me from making long-distance calls, but from time to time I really want to hear my old friends. Sometimes I would just pick up the phone and listen to the low hum of the zoomer and the distant crackling and matching the wind howling in the ice-laden chords. The dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice, but how would she know their smell? She hates when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself with a freshly sharpened axe. And Olya can't even be lured close to it. She thinks Babai is living there. I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on a dim lamp so she could see there was nothing but cobwebs, Dad's tools, and scratched walls. She still didn't believe me. And I like to hide in the closet and listen to Olya count outside. 1, 2, 3. Better hide from me. You could axe a lot of questions with that axe. You know what? That is true. And then drag her feet on the creaky floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. To the kitchen. Grandma kept ice cream for me and Oya there, but now I could only see bits for soup and clumped together pelmeni. I grew to hate them already. Pelmeni, a Russian variety of dumplings made by boiling thin, unleavened dough filled with mincemeat. One might call it Russian fast food. Okay. Wait, was there something else? The side of an ocean freezer was checker with my childish drawings, mom's recipes, and all kinds of stickers from bubblegum with dinosaurs that Oya liked so much. On one of that still life picture hung a piece of ruled paper with the phone number of the police officer who visited. First, Lieutenant Tikhonov, I read inside my mind, looking at the officer's sprawled handwriting. A scrap of paper was held by 2 pieces of broken magnet from some old Soviet toy. Those pieces just barely covered up the numbers as if to taunt me. I leaned toward it to unveil the mystery and take the piece of a safer place where it would wait for its time, when I would finally find Vova and be the first to call the police with the happy news.
Антон,
Anton! Mom's reproachful eyes stared at me.
зачем тебе? Не трогай, потеряешь же.
What do you need it for? Hands off, you'll lose it. Angering my mom was the last thing I wanted, so I lowered my hand. It was difficult to lie to Mom, but there was no other way for me to run away from home.
Мам, там что-то с телевизором случилось.
Mom, something's wrong with the TV.
Картинка какая-то тусклая и
The
экран
picture is
весь
dim
в
and there are
полосах.
stripes all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly distorted.
Без ножа меня режешь.
Ah,
Да
you're
стрелялся
killing
в
me
уток своих.
here. So have you had enough of shooting those stupid ducks now?
Говорила же, посадите мне кинескоп своей приставкой.
I told you the kinescope would dim because of your comfort.
Где мы теперь мастера найдем в дыре этой, а?
Will we find a TV technician in this one?
Может
Huh?
быть, просто настройки сбились?
Maybe it's just the settings?
Сходи, посмотри, пожалуйста.
Please go see for yourself.
Нормально же работал с утра.
Strange, it worked fine in the morning.
Из-за снегопада, наверное,
Maybe
неполадки.
a snowfall caused it? Mom rubbed her hands clean on her apron and went to Olya's room. There's no time for this. Mom will come back soon. We're breaking the rules, boys! I opened the front gate and went to the field. Carefully, so Mom wouldn't see me from the window. When I crossed half the distance toward the forest, the snow piles became as high as my knees. I remembered my nightly fears. I saw the silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. That hypnotizing music started playing in my head on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the aftertaste was still there, distant ringing in my ears, distorted shadows crawling on the snow alongside me, and a barely audible whisper in my head, blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent. So silent, I felt like the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Olya. The time reached its limit, a one-way trip that ended at the forest piney stockade. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any scream. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing, and both me and Oya turned to stone, listening to them. But then always came the ringing silence. Our parents became numb a couple days before we departed. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing, or spent time together. Almost like all of it was in a previous life. When they kissed with Oya present, she always frowned and snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. Something important had left our home, and something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if a fire broke up, and our parents were hurriedly packing our belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with dead, cold eyes who sometimes visited us in our previous home? The eyes that only saw balls of worms on the black ground and everything? And somewhere far away a siren was going off, trying to warn us of the coming menace. I shuddered, chasing away my delusions, and looked around. There were only me, this white field, and the wind that was whipping up icy dust and pelts of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and tore my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobby tree roots slithered under the snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and coniferous needles froze into the ice. Drying, prickly branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Were they protecting the forest? Or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. I tried to get closer, drowning in snow, and when I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like a wounded bird among the hungering semi-dark. Should I take it to the police? Their senior officer looked gloomy, but he still reminded me of catching Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Streets of Broken Lights. The Streets of Broken Lights, a Russian mystery TV series telling a story of the daily life of Russian police officers. It's the longest running series in the history of Russian TV at the moment. He was always so anxious, with a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this mitten help them find the lost boy? Vova. A Vova. I heard a distant shout, looked like it came from the river. Oh, you can kind of hear it. Vova. As if the trees were calling out to someone. Vova. It resounded closer to me. Someone was standing there behind the trees, hiding. Well, you can actually hear it. Vova. I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still. Something was unsettling about that figure. Its stillness, how it was bent unnaturally toward the ground. Its blackness. There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination. A nearby bird flapped his wings loudly. A shadow split from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for just a moment, but when I turned my gaze back to the same place, it was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Santa's tree reigned for a painfully long time. My muscles were tightly sprung. My heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any little movement, any small whisper from the thicket, and I'd sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more. Let's go take it. I decided to take the lonely mitten from the branch. Oh, what the heck? Vova. A shout rumbled across the field and dissolved in the distance. No echo, no hope for a reply. A shout rumbled across the field and dissolved in the distance. No echo, no hope for a reply. Oh gosh. I set toward the bristly trees and tried to claim my it didn't budge. I pulled harder and the branch cracked and the mitten tore off, binding my hand with a squishy sound. All too heavy and wet. I squeezed it without thinking as something dark spilled from it, forming a tiny string between the mitten and the snow. Steam rose from the snow pile. I froze in place, studying my palms in disgust. Red. The sound of cracking branches invaded the silence. I didn't have to think twice before running away. Someone was chasing me from the darkness, breaking pine branches, going the distance with giant leaps. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts flew my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. But there was one more voice, probably one of reason. It gave me strength and spurred me on. You can do it. Don't stop. I heard an animal roar behind me. It was so loud my ears went numb. It felt like the sound had come from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in freezing air. They sensed my fear. Two giant wings flapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing. I hoot and wheeze. The roars were coming from all directions now. From a dried up raspberry bush and twisted pines under the windfall. Hurry, run, don't look back! It felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowy clearing became vicious like quicksand. I was stuck in place. I pulled my life in a mushy trap just to be caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Someone or something in the snow pile was clutching my pants. I got all my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my leg was gone. My boot slipped out from the hole and my soles were on a hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one jump and from there ran to my house. Its gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. That house was my line of defense from the shadows that flapped their wings and the creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. In all my hurry, I still managed to notice the claw marks. As if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to let him so it could escape the board. I hadn't noticed these marks when I was leaving. The heartbeat in my ears was so much louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone followed me or not. What if they were already in our front yard and Mom had locked the door? Drowning in fear, I pulled on the doorknob and immediately gave way. Then Mom came running with a flip-flop in hand. Oh, jeez. I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. The porch planks creaked as my pursuers descended the stairs. My fingers slipped off the lock and I couldn't click it in place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the door iron knob, whipping it between the boards. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than blankets. Wheezing breath reached into the house and crashed at me in waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked out of the kitchen and chastised me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad.
Что конкретно тебе не ясно в просьбе не хлопай дверьми?
What exactly didn't you understand when I told you never to never slam the door?
Я случайно.
I didn't mean to. I snuck a glance at the door. The smell was gone, and the breath was too. If there was something in the first place, of course. Here, mere 5 meters away from Mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting like snow in spring, and with it the last bit of strength I had left in my body too. My legs gave way. I propped myself up against the wall so I would fall over. Mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before all those squirrels. She finally saw my condition, my wet pants plastered with snow.
Ты где был? Я тебе что говорила, а? Чтобы ты дома сидел.
Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home.
Я и для тебя пустое место.
Am I nothing to you? Nothing to you, too? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was very little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Her eyes shined like steel. Her voice rang
У
out.
отца сигареты пропали.
Your dad can't find his cigarettes.
Признавайся, ты их стащил?
Be honest,
Курить
did you
бегаешь?
snatch them? Were you smoking in secret?
Там за мной кто-то
There was someone
гнался.
chasing me.
Я думал,
I
меня...
thought- I stuttered as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned toward me and snipped my clothes like a beast, searching for the smell of tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant and she covered her mouth with her hands.
Гляди, вон же они. Прямо у забора.
Look over there, at the fence. My heart started thumping as if I became prey once again and my pursuers were following me in the fields. I could swear that I've heard something scratch at the door, just like my nightmares. Mom beckoned me with her finger and I gathered all my remaining bravery to look into the kitchen window facing my fear. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in snow through the icy winter patterns in the glass. Dogs. Just a small pack of strays with no name and owner, barely reminding me of the hungry monsters that lived on the edge of the forest.
Божечки, ты их испугался? Да они сами тебя перепугаются, Антон.
Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you.
Они гнались за мной,
They were chasing
словно
me
за зайцем.
like a bunny.
А вдруг они бешеные?
And what if they were rabid? The smile had slowly disappeared from Mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it were her first time seeing
Что
them.
если они нападут на Олю?
What if they attacked Olya?
Мам,
Mom,
Вот бы твой отец их всех
I
перестрелял.
wish your dad could just shoot them all.
мама, они
Mom,
живые.
look, they're alive.
А что?
Huh? What?
Ты уж определись, они
Or
тебе
if
друзья
they
или
your
враги?
friend or foe after all. Make up your
Не
mind.
маленький ведь уже.
You're not a little kid anymore. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. And what for? What use do I have for this? Mitten, of course. A darkened, sticky mitten that belonged to the lost boy made a squishy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective. I hurried to present this clue to my mom.
Мам, смотри, это Вовина варежка.
Mom, look, this is Vova's mitten.
Ну того, про которого утром
The
милиция
boy the police were
спрашивала.
asking about in the morning.
Она вся в крови.
It's drenched
На
in
дереве
blood.
висела.
I got it hanging on
Вон
a
там,
tree.
могу показать.
I can show where.
Давай в милицию
I
скорее
show the
позвоним.
police right away.
Как нас
Like the
участковый
officer had told
просил.
us to.
Мам, гляди!
Mom, look.
Фу.
Ew. I shouted out, slowly crouched onto Moscow toward his face. As if he's trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember their dream, but the image slips away.
А ну-ка прекрати сейчас же.
Stop at this moment.
Оля тебя услышит,
Oля
с
will
ума
go insane
сойдет.
if she hears you.
Она и так не спит.
She
На
already
все
has
подряд
trouble sleeping
жалуется.
and whines all the time.
Еще и ты со своими
And you
шуточками.
joke around like this? At that moment, I realized it was actually wet from snow. There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment.
Иди сюда, паникер.
Come here, my boy who cried for me.
Да не стой столбом.
Oh, don't
Вот,
just stand there. Come
таблетку
take your
на.
pill.
Быстро пей.
The golden color pill reminiscent of a dead wasp fell into my palm.
Я уже пил сегодня, за завтраком.
I already took one during breakfast.
Попререкайся мне еще.
Don't talk over me.
Сказала
I
дома
told you to
сидеть.
stay
Нет
home
же.
and
Был бы отец
I
выпорол.
would have given you a good whipping for that.
Сейчас же выпей, а то ночью
Come
не
on,
уснешь.
take it, or you won't be
Тебе
able to
в
sleep
школу
at night.
завтра.
And you have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with similarly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. I thought that was a gun loading sound. Come here, take your medicine. Maybe it wasn't Volva's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten at all. Just like the forest monsters and Olia's owl. Am I going mad? What's happening to me? Either the pill had an immediate effect, or my overexerted brain didn't let fear inside anymore. Serenity washed over me, bringing a yawn and indifference along with it.
Антон, выпил? Можешь, если захочешь.
Anton, you done? See, you can do it when you try.
Раздевайся. Уснул,
Take off
что ли?
your coat. Are you asleep?
Нет, мам,
Oh,
просто
Mom, I was
задумался.
just thinking.
Интересно, о чем же?
What about, I wonder?
Так,
It's just
глупости
something silly.
всякие.
Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes. As if she wasn't sure, she was looking at her own son and at some doppelganger that came from the forest.
Точно все нормально?
Is everything alright?
У тебя такое лицо
You
было,
had the
когда
exact same
милиционер
impression
про
when
окно
the
спросил.
policeman asked you about the window.
Все нормально, мам.
I'm alright, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh.
Хорошо.
Fine. It seemed like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric had become discolored. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. A melody from Aladdin could be heard from the upper floor. Olivia was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episodes and was switched to other tapes. I slowly changed into my home clothes, stopped before the sink, and studied my reflection in the mirror, like I was trying to solve one of those spot the difference puzzles. Then I went upstairs. Jafar's and Yahweh's voices died down. I walked past Olia's bedroom and slipped into my own. We got a few things. My Triceratops figurine. I know about all sorts of dinosaurs, velociraptors, afrovenators, hypocephalopods. I remember going to the movies to see Jurassic Park back when we still lived in the city and taking pictures with the T-Rex in the hall. It turned its head and roared. It was awesome. And next to it was a Robotech Transformer. I love this cartoon. When a jet fighter speeds up and the intros among the sounds of blaster fire, you know your next 20 minutes will surely be amazing. The Zentradi space station is captured. Rick, get ready for battle. I've dreamt of becoming an artist and instead bought me my first comic book. Fly magazine was the coolest. Fly, the first Soviet and Russian periodic adult comics magazine. Extremely popular during the crazy 90s, what made the magazine stand out was the refusal to use material from its foreign counterparts. I especially liked the big space-related edition with alien monsters from the funny episode about a Gendarme. I started drawing all kinds of stuff since that day, and I seem to be getting pretty good at it. One of my letters even got published in Fly once. Maybe someday they'll even publish my comics. Adult comic? Yeah. I think it means like Mad Magazine. You know? Just comics featured for adults. Like the gritty adventures of Batman kind of thing. But I think it's more like Mad Magazine. if I'm reading that right. Monsters, Ghosts, UFOs. The Encyclopedia of Paranormal Phenomenon from Roseman Publishing. I've heard about the Loch Ness Monster, Medusa, Gorgon, and Bigfoot from there. Alia is always scared of the book. She could barely handle sifting through the monsters and alien sections with me, but the middle part where they start to talk about ghosts really freaked her out. I even remember hunting ghosts after I read that book. I measured the distance between items on my table every evening and checked if they moved to some supernatural force come in the morning. They didn't. But to be honest, what was I expecting? To meet Casper the ghost? The forest didn't look as grim during the day. Entangled tree branches in the distance and snowy field between our house and the forest brought sleepiness to my eyes. Oh, I missed that. How strange, I remember moving this girl. One of the drawers was empty. I hid the mitten there. This simple action drained the last bit of strength in from me. I sat on the bed. And only then I noticed there was someone behind the curtains. My tired hand dropped to the sheets. Whether it was due to medication I took or the stress I underwent, the room began to contort, as if the wind was blowing the walls out like a pair of sails. The corners of the room bent and undulated. The only stable thing in the whole room was the figure between the windowsill and the curtains. A flimsy piece of cloth was stuck to my hidden visitor, just like a servant of sorts.
Оля,
Olya? Who else would be standing there? I stood up and licked my dried
Оля,
lips.
очень смешно.
Yeah, Olya, it's so funny. The silhouette was unmoving. It was enveloped softly by the curtains, as if there was a thick layer of darkness there, not a human being. I reached toward the curtains. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Beat my heart, controlled by my medication. The wind sang in the field with a chorus of voices. For a second, I wanted to return to the bed, just lie down and watch the person behind the curtain, knowing full well they were looking back at me. They were looking without blinking, waiting for me to fall asleep. Plastic rings rustled against the holder when I pulled open the curtains.
Попался!
Gotcha!
Да я сразу понял, что это ты.
I knew it was you from the beginning. A blinding bright halo lit up above Olya's head with a setting sun as the background. My sister was shining, but when she was just a baby, Dad always used to say she was shining with happiness. I always retorted, but Dad, she's not some flashlight. But I brought her to the window one day and sunlight poured on her smiling face. I felt like I was holding a light woven child.
А я все видела.
I saw everything.
Да ну,
Oh, really?
Что ты спрятал?
What did you hide? She was just like my mom when she was little, before she put on her sad mask of tiredness and switched to her commanding tone of voice.
ничего, просто...
It's nothing, just... Olya ran out to the table, her eyes round and asked,
Ты что-то украл и теперь прячешь?
You stole something and hid it there?
Ты вор?
Are you a thief?
Что? Глупая.
What? Don't be stupid.
Ничего я не
I
крал.
didn't steal anything. A clear image came to mind, that mitten hanging from a tree branch. What if I did steal it after all? From the forest, from the tilted figure standing behind black trees. Olya could be selfish and stubborn when she wanted.
Покажи тогда.
Then show me.
Поклянись, что никому не
Swear that
скажешь.
you won't
Тогда
tell
покажу.
anyone. Then I'll show you. Olya wore a plotting smile.
Клянусь маминым сердцем.
I swear on Mom's heart. An oath she heard in one of the movies from the pioneers we've watched. Pioneer Movement, an umbrella term for communist children organizations existing around the world, somewhat reminiscent of the Scout Movement. Give me just a moment. I need to check something. Sorry, small pause. I'll probably have to pause again in a moment. An oath she heard in one of the movies from the.
Не
we
говори
watched.
так.
Don't say things like that. Oya nodded and made a gesture with her hand, knocking her mouth under imaginary key. She was filled with curiosity that was splashing in her giant eyes. I opened the door and Oya leaned in, holding her breath. It looked like there was not just a simple mitten, but some sort of exotic creature.
Это
Is
чья-то
this
варежка?
someone's mitten? She said that as if she could understand what she saw.
Один мальчик потерял. И сам потерялся.
A certain boy lost it and got lost himself.
Теперь понимаешь, как опасно
Now
гулять в
you
лесу,
do
особенно
understand how
детям.
dangerous it is for kids to wander to the forest, right?
Ему, наверное, там очень
It
холодно.
must be really cold out there.
Его найдут?
Will they find him?
Обязательно.
They will.
Участковый по домам
The police are
ходит,
going
всем
house to house,
фотографии его
showing this photo
показывает.
to everybody. Oya traversed the room with care and pressed her tiny palms against the window.
А почему он по домам ходит, а не по лесу?
And why are they going to the houses and not the forest?
Боится?
Are they scared? The question caught me off guard.
Милиционеры ничего не боятся.
The police aren't scared of anything.
И лес они прочесали.
They've already scouted the forest. Yeah, right, flashed in my clouded mind. Did they really check every nook and cranny where darkness, cold, and whispers of icy branches dwell? If that's the case, how did they miss the mitten? Or did it appear later for me? I changed the topic, as if trying to get Oya as far away as possible from the forest thicket.
Если я сам найду пропавшего мальчика, нам, может, награду дадут.
We may get a reward if I go and find this boy myself.
Кучу всякого, как в поле
A lot
чудес.
of stuff, like in a Wheel of Fortune.
Клево же.
Sounds cool, right? You're not going to explain to me Wheel of Fortune. Field of Wonders, a Soviet and Russian TV game show still running to this day, coming out every Friday, can be described as a partially adapted version of Wheel of Fortune, I see. Oya wasn't listening to me. She was piercing the forest with incredibly adult eyes, uncharacteristic for her.
А что, если эта сова его утащила?
What if the owl got him?
Ерунда.
Nonsense. Give me a moment. Okay, I will need to take a small break. I do apologize. I had to make a call. Fields of Fortune. What do you win? 10,000 potatoes. All right, I'll be right back. Give me just a moment. I do apologize. There'll be just one more moment. Okay, that's done. Sorry about that. Oop. Well, what if the... Oh, nonsense. Sorry, we're getting back into it.
Не может sova поднять человека.
I know I won't be able to lift a
Ну
human,
вот что...
but you know what? I was picking my words with utmost care. I forced them out over my overexerted
Ты в
brain.
лес не суйся. Мне кажется, он какой-то...
Stay away from the forest. I think
Как бы
it's...
сказать... Проклятый, что ли?
How should I put it? It's cursed or something.
Как в сказке?
Just like in a fairy tale?
Нет, скорее, как на той страшной кассете, что родители прячут.
No, more like in that spooky tape our parents hide from us. Olya shivered and stole a glance at the window.
Я видела, как ты убегал.
I saw you running
За
away.
тобой кто-то гнался?
Someone was chasing you?
Нет, просто, чтобы мама не волновалась, спешил домой.
No, I was hurrying back home so Mom won't be worried. As I looked at my sister, my heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile, so it was so easy to stifle her light. A gust of wind, and her small fire would be gone.
Хорошо тебе.
You're lucky.
Меня вот мама не пускает даже на крыльцо.
Mom won't even let me go outside.
Как принцесса в башне сижу. Никуда не могу выйти.
I'm like a princess in the tower. Can't go anywhere.
Так и умру тут от скуки.
I'll die from boredom here.
Не придумывай.
You're wrong.
От скуки еще
No
никто
one
не
has
умирал.
ever died of boredom.
У тебя же есть я и мультики, а мама с папой скоро помирятся.
You have me and your cartoons, and Mom and Dad will be good to each other soon.
Знаешь, что бы я загадала на следующий день рождения?
You know what I wish for on my next birthday?
Чтобы родители тоже в детей превратились. И мы бы все вместе играли, как
I'd-
раньше.
I'd wish for Mom and Dad to turn into children so we could go and play together like we used to.
Ага. А если бы они стали размером с жука, то мы бы их в спичечный коробок посадили.
Yeah, and if you'd make them as small as bugs, you could place them into a little box. Olya giggled and tugged at my sleeve.
Тоша, пойдем Аладдина смотреть.
Tony, let's go watch Aladdin. Fatigue won over my desire to be with my little sister. I was washed over by some sort of heinous apathy.
Вымотался я. Что-то не
I'm too
хочется.
tired. I don't want to.
Ну пойдем.
Come on.
Мне скучно одной, а мама занята все время.
It's so boring alone, and Mom is always busy.
Можно выбрать другой мультик, который ты еще не видел.
We can pick a cartoon you haven't seen before.
Да я все наши кассеты наизусть знаю.
I know all of our tastes by heart at this point.
А вот и не все. Ты Питера Пэна не видел.
Not all of them. You haven't watched Peter Pan.
Помнишь, ты уснул на середине?
Remember how you fell asleep in the middle of it?
Там потом такое. Ну пойдем.
And so much happens after that. Let's go. Let's go.
Давай попозже.
Maybe a bit later.
Рассказать тебе, чем все закончилось?
Should I tell you how it ends?
Утром расскажешь.
Let's leave that for tomorrow.
Утром не захочу.
I won't tell you tomorrow.
Придумала. А давай в прятки.
I know, let's play hide and seek.
Нет, Оль.
No, Olya.
Тогда нарисуй мне динозавра.
Then draw me a dino.
Оля, блин.
Olya, please.
Нарисуй, нарисуй.
Draw it, draw it.
Да оставь ты меня в покое!
Leave me alone already. I blurted out without thinking, and then I was immediately taken aback. I would never screamed at my little sister like that. Olya stared at me in shock. Her lips started trembling, a precursor to tears. My chest was heaving with disgust and embarrassment. What's happening to me? I hurried to prevent Olya from crying.
Ладно,
All right,
уболтала. Давай
You
смотреть
win.
мультики.
let's go watch
Только
cartoons for a
недолго.
bit.
Уже не хочу.
I don't wanna. I got up to her, put my hand on her soft head.
Пойдем.
Let's go.
Питера Пэна
Let's
посмотрим.
go watch Peter Pan.
Ага, ты опять
We'll
уснешь.
fall asleep again. I smiled and lifted her chin. Her eyes were wet and felt bottomless.
Не усну,
I
обещаю.
promise I won't.
А потом я тебе
And
целого
I'll draw you a full
трицератопса нарисую.
Triceratops later.
Ура!
Hooray! Triceratops!
Попса!
Ну, почти.
Ah, close enough. Olya rubbed her eyes with the sleeve of her pajamas, and a shiny smile returned to her face.
Давай ты пока кассету перемотаешь, а я у мамы попрошу сгущенки с хлебом.
I'll go ask Mom for condensed milk and bread, and you rewind the tape.
Только утром свежий привезли, как ты любишь.
The bread is fresh, just how you like it.
Неси, только аккуратнее, а то разольешь.
Alright, just be careful not to spill the milk,
Опять ругаться будут.
or you'll be yelled at again.
Спорим, не разолью.
Wanna bet I won't spill it?
Кассета где-то в тумбочке. Поищи пока.
The tape is somewhere in the nightstand. Look for it. Olya disappeared at the doorway, and I dragged my feet to the neighboring room. Scary window. Olya sees that accursed owl every night, lurking in the dark. Olya keeps curtains open during the day, but as soon as the twilight comes, she shuts them tight, so she wouldn't see the pair of hungry eyes outside. A piggy bank. Olya saving money for a real puppy because Dad said that taking care of him will take a lot of money. Olya's countless toys. An old teddy bear is the main attraction here. Olya doesn't sleep without it. As she digs her nose into its fur when she sleeps. Is that a Rubik's Cube? Dang. That's Chippendale, isn't it? The old photon TV was gathering dust in the corner. All that was left was clicking the button on the front panel. The tube warmed up and the familiar white noise started dancing on the black screen. I almost reached out to Connie's there and it was calmed down and the bright image appeared for a moment. It was a dark tiger forest, just like the one outside my window. The picture split the screen in half. Something creepily resembling human speech was coming out of the speaker. Just a few moments later, and the screen was again overshadowed by noise. Did it catch some rogue signal? The local TV station only really showed Soviet cartoons, and even that was pretty rare. And only just recently I used to always watch Robotech before school. It was so awesome. Maybe I should tinker with the antenna. What if I catch this channel again? On the other hand, Olya had asked me to find the tape. It wouldn't be nice to disappoint her. But in my sleepy state, I didn't have the strength to do all of it. What should I do, guys? What do you guys think? Should I search for the tape? Or should I mess with the set in order to find that signal again? Search? Vlad? Mr. Marcus? Mr. Flux? What do you guys think? Oh, Marcus is streaming. I don't think he'll help. Alright, Dirk, you made the decision. Search. I sifted through the shelves full of dolls and blue hippos from Kinder Surprise. I found the tape I needed thanks to its shabby spine. I got the black rectangle from its box. The tape inside it rustled while rewinding to the beginning. This rustle was lulling me to sleep. Drowsiness attacked me while I was squatting before the TV. Images whirled in my head, me and Oya flying above the forest, tumbling in soft clouds. My little sister is laughing, but her smile becomes more and more forced with every passing second. I noticed the clouds underneath us part, burying the bristly pine tops. Swampy darkness slurped among the trees. The wings are no longer able to hold us and Oya.
Ты не смотришь без меня?
You haven't started without me, have you? My sister brought the tray with unevenly cut bread and a whole can of condensed milk. I rubbed my eyes.
Нет, садись.
No, come sit.
Мама с папой опять ругаются.
Mom and Dad are arguing
У
again.
них сейчас период такой.
They're going through rough times.
Глупый какой-то период.
Rough times are lame. On the screen, Wendy... that's a mistype, it looks like. On the screen, Wendy was hiding Peter Pan's shadow into the dresser. Oya was entertained by the cartoonish dog, Nana.
Может, и нам родители собачку
Maybe
купят?
Mom and Dad will be busy. Will buy us a dog too.
Ага, как же.
Yeah, right.
В Небыляндии у
I
меня
have my
будет своя
own dog in
собственная
Neverland.
собака.
And a cat.
И кошка.
And a
И
parrot.
попугайчик.
Oya smeared a slice of bread with a thick layer of condensed milk and handed it to me.
А у тебя все молочные зубы выпали?
Have you lost all your baby teeth?
Конечно.
Obviously. Oya frowned, deep in
У
thought.
Питера Пэна зубы молочные.
Peter Pan has baby teeth.
Вдруг со взрослыми зубами тебя не пустят в его страну?
What if they won't let you go to his land with adult teeth?
Мы что-нибудь обязательно придумаем.
We'll think of something.
Попросим папу исправить тебе возраст в паспорте.
We'll ask Dad to alter your age in the passport.
С чего это папа будет документы подделывать?
And why would Dad forge documents? Oya took a bite from the sandwich and started talking with her mouth full.
Будет. Мама говорила, что он так делал. А я подслушала.
He will. Mom, he did that before.
Смотри, уши вырастут,
You'll
как у
grow ears
Дамбо.
as big as Dumbo's. Oya got worried and touched her ear. I smiled to myself. My little sister was silent now. She just devoured bread, watching the adventures of Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and James Hook. As if she got sucked into the fairy tale Neverland. To be honest, I also imagine myself there, in a land where no one ever edges. Where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights and the sound of broken plates at night. It felt like I was dreaming with my eyes still open. Then my sister's scream pulled me back to reality.
Тоша, скорее, штору задерни!
Tony, shut the curtains fast!
Зачем?
Why?
Никто же на тебя не
No
смотрит.
one's watching you.
Уже темно, а когда темнеет, прилетает сова.
It's dark. And when it's dark, the owl comes.
Я боюсь.
I'm scared. I get out of bed, fighting with my drowsiness, and close the curtains. I did my best not to look outside toward the treetops, toward the taiga forest that seemingly drew closer and closer. Of course, it was just a visual effect from shadows of branches scraping the snow.
Тоша, мама думает, что я напридумывала про сову.
Tony, Mom thinks I made the owl up.
И папа считает,
And
что раз
Dad-
я маленькая, это значит врушка.
Then Dad, too, thinks I'm a liar since I'm small.
А сова есть.
But the owl
Вот
exists.
честная-пречестная,
Honestly,
есть она.
honestly, it does.
Ты же мне веришь,
You do believe me, right?
что она там и каждую ночь
That it
прилетает
comes
и...
every night, and I swiftly grabbed Oya's hand and looked into her eyes. I was trying to transfer at least some of my courage and determination. But did I really have those qualities?
Я тебе верю, слышишь?
Yes, I believe you, alright?
Ты только родителям больше не рассказывай про сову.
Just don't nag our parents about it
У
anymore.
них и так хлопот по горло, они только рассердятся.
They're already dealing with a lot, so they'll just get mad at
Ты
you.
мне говори, если что случится.
Come and tell me if anything
И в окно
happens.
не смотри.
And don't look out the window.
Но она хочет, чтобы я смотрела.
But it wants me to look.
Перехочет.
Doesn't matter.
Притворись, что ее нет и
Act like
не
it
было
doesn't.
никогда, что она выдумка, как родители говорят.
Act like it doesn't exist and never existed. Like it's made up, just like Mom and Dad said.
Ей ждать надоест, она улетит.
It'll get tired of waiting and fly away. Weird. We followed Peter Pan's adventures as if nothing had happened, as if the forest didn't kidnap kids, as if our parents weren't tearing each other apart bit by bit. Captain Hook was running away from a crocodile. Captain Pan was headed to London on a gilded sailboat. By some miracle, I lasted longer than my little sister. Olia's eyelids had dropped. She started snorting slightly, resting her chin on the side of the bed. I stood up and left Olia's room. I was looking out the window, starting to feel when Mom peeked into my room.
Довольно баловства.
Enough playing around.
Завтра первый день в школе.
It's your first day at school
Ложись,
tomorrow.
тебе надо выспаться.
Go to bed. You should sleep properly.
Не хочешь же ты, чтобы тебя все дразнили Соней?
You don't want to be teased for being sleepy, right? Adults think everything is so simple. As if sound sleep would ensure my classmates would like me. I covered myself with a blanket up to my neck and listened to the house humming, to something invisible rustling in the corners. My inner voice had a question for me. Do I want to hear that mysterious flute again? Yes or no? Maybe it's just a part of growing up. I can't fully understand my own desires. The forest wailed behind the barrier that was my walls. Some ethereal entity wandered the fields. Branches shook as if calling for me. The wind howled and on in the night. My thoughts were like annoying flies that entered my head before becoming weak and tangled. I didn't notice how I fell into slumber. It has come, after all, the day I feared the most. The first day of a new school term. Episode 2. Time to play with you. I'm going to save it here. And we're going to move on to the next game. Oh, it's such an interesting story. I will definitely come back to that next time. It's actually really decent. But we're gonna play Lost in Vivo now. I've never heard of this game. It's got some pretty good reviews. So, let's enjoy. Ooh. Potato and potato. Potato and potato. Alright. Yeah, let's play. Oh god, the game's made in Unity. Kira. Don't run. Where are you? Don't run. This game uses 3D. Oh, why are you going so fast? And these violent images and flashing lights. Never played this before. Never seen it. So how are you feeling? Do you feel these sessions are still hopping? You could try something a little more direct. We could start in vivo exposure therapy. Huh. I got the puppy. Like a help dog or something. Like a foggy morning or some kind. It's awfully quiet. Oh, the heck was that? Oh, it's raining. A game by Akuma Kira. Is there supposed to be sound? I feel like there's supposed to be sound. Unless I'm supposed to be deaf. Missing. Alright. Oh, it's coming down harder. With music by Akuma Kira, Jaren Chris, Nolan Reese. It would be nice if I could hear some music. Can't hear anything. Still, shocking illegal experiments are making Khan insane. Weird. Is there... I can't even pause it. No escape button. The escape button won't do anything. Again, be nice if I could at least hear the rain. Animate Savannah! Welcome. We're playing a spooky game. Or at least I think it's spooky. All I'm looking at is corgi butt. Whoa. Oh no! Oh god, my dog fell into a grate? Oh, alright then. Again, I feel like... Why is the volume all the way down? Oh, so that was my issue. That's a lot better. I can actually hear. Oh. Oh no, this is creepy. Dog, where are you? What should we name the dog, guys? What is our service corgi dog's name? Oh, my madness works. Hungry Demon. Rose Blood Wolf. The Snatcher. Merlin, the Great Wizard. Hot Cross. Miu Bunny. Project Ma. That's a really good painting if someone could do that. Come on, guys. What should we name the puppy that we lost? And we will never see again. Poor corgi. Oh, this is creepy. Victor E.G. Oh. Graham Rosen. Cat FT Win. There is no unlurk command, KJ. You just say hi. Also, welcome back, KJ. KJ, what should we name a corgi service dog? To the right. Oh, alright, his name is Cheese. I'm okay with that. Elliot Opossum B. McPherson. Because no one else wants to answer because everyone's quiet. Also, we lost our dog in the sewer. Oh, well, this is gross. Why is it green? Oh, well, that's... That's creepy. No. Yep, we lost cheese in the sewer. So that's where we're at. Otaku punk. Now I can't ask what the dog doing. Yep, he's lost. That's what he's doing. We're trying to find the dog. Dolki. The heck? Hypothermic fridge mimic. Typically hipster. Creepy. Press I to check inventory. Flashlight game manual. What? Move, crouch, sprint, use E, enter. Our brave hero amongst Fox is on a journey to save his dear cheese. Exactly. Block his right mouse button, attack his left mouse button, change weapon with mouse wheel, Q, map, reload, inventory. Torn leash, my dog's leash. It got torn on the broken sewer grate. An old military flashlight. I always keep it with me in case I get trapped somewhere. I can't bear to leave the house without it. The batteries are long lasting and had, guaranteed to last all game, written on the package. Keyring. See, that's our Corgi dog. The keyring that holds all the keys I have. Lost tape number 1. An old tape I found at home. If I find a tape player, I should listen to it. The pound is written on it. Okay. Brigitte, Monica, man. Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer picked up. So, do I need to... Oh. Alright. Okay, so block is a toggle then. Interesting. It's not a hole, it's a toggle. KJ redeemed hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate. Moisturize your throat. You missed the spookiness of the last game, KJ. NOS 0323. Good. What, only to come back to another creepy game? Definitely left. I'm learning for my theory driving exam. Oh, are you? How's that going? So I'm busy. Understandable. Oh, that's... I don't like that. Someone whistled back. Alright, I guess we're heading this way. I'm not liking this, to be honest with you. Why are there boxes down here? It's a sewer. Ew, what is... Oh, it's old food, I guess. Whoops. Read. There's not much on the TV nowadays, so I thought I'd make my own show. I started putting food and rancid meat in a useless old box, and all sorts of little critters would come and play. It was really relaxing to just sit on the sofa and watch them eat. But the small critters started attracting larger ones to the show. Some horrid putrid thief kept coming by to watch, so I would just pretend to be asleep. Till it passed, but I think it knows I'm awake. I think it's watching me, not the show on the TV. How did the dog get in the sewer? I think it's going well. How did the dog get in the sewer? It fell into an open grate. I definitely didn't stuff it down the grate. I don't think. How did the dog get in the... How did Cheese get in the sewers? Cheese fell. Cheese got grated. Don't look good. My eyes are useless. All they do now is sting and show me stuff that can't be real. If that rancid thing wants them, then I say let it have them. Rancid thing. Why didn't the cheese want to be sliced? It had greater plans. Wow. Oh, this way. Can I smash the light? No, I can't. I'm not liking this. I'm finding this very creepy. Oh, Ooh. What is that? Oh, that was... Dog. What? No. Great, my dog get dragged away. What is going on? I'm not liking the music. Be a lurker if that's better. You're fine, don't worry about it. Light, don't just turn off like that. Jesus. Sorry, but at what point do you say, sorry, but I'm done, rip doggo? Neon Pasu. What's up, Marcus? Kara. Don't know what that is. That's gross. All hope abandoned. You who enter here. Well, I'm entering. I'm not sure, but I think there's a path of no return at this point. Since I definitely would not be able to find my way out and would wander forever. So at this point, I think it's just best to continue moving forward no matter what. I mean, I was reinvigorated into finding my dog when I saw my dog, only to watch it being dragged away. At that point, I feel like, yeah, I would have to turn around and be like, nope, dog died, time to go back. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell were you? Let's hurry up a little bit, shall we? Let's just go through here. Oh, that's not good. That's like really, that's such a far drop. All right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I don't like this. Why is this getting even worse? Everything's rusted now. Nope. No sign of hearing my dog. Excuse me. Sorry. Had a sneeze. Doggo got sacrificed. I don't know about sacrifice, more along the lines of probably eaten. I like how there's just nothing. The music definitely isn't helping. Oh, I don't like that. Well, you're going to hell after all, literally. Oh, what the hell is that? Oh, this gross. Literally. Well, I keep going down, so I have no idea what the hell is happening. That doesn't sound good. Could you not? Do you think you could not? Stop. Where the gates are broken. That's kind of weird how these are shaped. God, I'm getting Silent Hill vibes. I'm gonna head out. Too spooky for me. I need to learn. Alright. Thank you for joining. What What is that? Gears? Something tell me. A gun? Oh, well, that's not good. Something tell me. Something tells me that this is not good. What if the doggo is the monster you're running from? Shh. Oh my god, I never thought about that. Dog! Doggy! Yeah, it's... doesn't look like a dog. What the hell? I saw my shadow puppy. And... oh, it's a save room. Alright, that definitely seemed a lot like Silent Hill, to be honest. What happened? Where am I? Wait, is that the exit? What happened? I feel like this is where I dropped down from. I'm going up. Oh, I'm out of the sewer. Why did it leave me here? I think I saw a video on this game about it being spooky. Well, yeah, it definitely accomplishes that. Scores 707. Mar XL. Checkered lamb. Trash, please. Nico Nage. Ooh, Lady Dragonia. Josh Bashel. Chatty Whacker. Dragon Killer. Nonstop Disco. Alf Kid. Okay. Faith of the Air. Ebb Agent J. Innocent Perfetti. Oh, there's the outside up there. Give me snacks. I'm starving. kww6.deviantart.com. Interesting. Diet, a trick to stop all eating. Alright then. Lose it. Lose pounds fast. Here's the new secret exercise from our shaman. Boy, these people are just all sorts of, hey, look. Comic October 2017. www.omenscomic.com. Okay. The Rise of Spooks. Ah, it's Spooky House of Jump Scare Spooks. Interesting. Lose it. Transit office. Snow spurt. Joseph Stein. This way is blocked off. Alright, we're gonna heading this way then. Yay! It has a working escalator. Feels a little janky. My dog! We'll ignore who he was with, I guess. A train office key. Bloated disgust. Eat fat. Gross. That doesn't look right. Serial pillock. Oh, well, that's creepy. Oh, that's not nightmare fuel. I feel like going down's not an issue. It's the coming back up. Oh, let's check. A wet sledgehammer. I found it in the sewers. It looks old, but it's holding up well. A damaged handgun. I wonder what it was doing down there. Down here. Station closed. Can't do anything over here. Examine. This doesn't make any sense. 72U? Examine. Open the station. Whistle out the computer, sure. Alright, station is open, I guess. The game, stream doesn't like the game. The train. I'm on a train and it's going fast and I can't see inside. Who is conducting the train? Why do I seem like the only person on this train? Why does it seem red? I don't want to go. I just want to stay on this train. I want to stay in the dark where no one can see me. What the hell was that? Oh, what the hell? Oh, no. Emergency exit. I kind of don't want to. I kind of just like the paper said. I kind of just want to stay on the train. I just want to stay on the train. I don't want to go. Don't mess with me. I got a gun. Hate this. I haven't seen anything that does me any harm other than the guy who tried to knife me. Well, that was just one human enemy. Like, I'm hating it. Now let's go back. I want to make a decision. I want to control back in my life. I want control back in my life. I want to matter. Everybody just makes choices for me. Maybe I'll find some place where I can be happy. Someplace dark without people to remind me how ugly I am. I'm sorry. Pretty odd. Locked. Good. I don't know if I wanted to go down. Oh, I can. Nope. A visible wall. Okay. Just being sure. Nathan Babylon. Oh. Game saved. What's in here? See you there. Stop it. Ooh, it's a PlayStation game. Midnight. It's an old game called Midnight. Weird. Is this what's taking you from? Is that the clue? To check the map. A maintenance map. Outdated, 8/17/87. See new construction plans. Okay, I'm that red bleaking box down there, I guess. Wait, I didn't see a side room. That's odd. Well, that doesn't seem to be doing anything. If the power goes out on the tracks, you have to reboot the whole system. In order to do that, go to each section and turn off the broken boxes and come back here and restart the system. I've barely been able to keep the power on, so that's all about all the advice besides quitting I can give. Ooh, those are some old looking donuts. Alright, so I need to hit those red squares then? Oh, I don't like this. And apparently... there's a door here? I was thinking maybe it was a secret door. It only opened if I whacked it. Whack, 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 whack. Safe room. Or is it used? Nope. There we go. Alright. I don't like it. Let's do it. Here we go. Oh, what a wonderful time. So I could go left, forward, which it looks like it goes to a separate track system, or right. Right might be the best option right now. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I really kind of hate it. It's giving me all sorts of creepy. Huh. Alright, that was useless. I thought I heard footsteps. So in this room, a pick lock set. Okay. Examine. Review books about customer service. All right then. Locked from the other side. Weird. Car boys. It's blocked. No, it's not. It's clearly... maybe it's referring to the fence. Oh. Oh. Nope. Let's just say no to that. For right now. Oh. Alright then. Weird. Oh, I don't like this. Let me guess. Yep. I knew it. Turn off all the power. Things are about to get spooky. Oh, what the hell is that? You stop. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Oh, I hate it. What the hell is that? Ow, I'm being I don't know what's going on. Oh, what the hell are you? Oh, God. Oh. What the hell just happened? Ow! Oh, Jesus. I think I had to run through here. Because they just appear out of nowhere. Run! Oh, they're getting closer. Oh, I hate it. Oh, God, it's coming. Unlock! Unlock! Oh, you dick. Okay, run. Run. Alright. Just get the hell out of this area. Oh, that. I did not like that. That was creepy. Oh, no. No. Ugh. I got chills. The only thing I can do was run. I didn't know how many hits I could take before I died. Am I almost dead? Health 39. Yep. Have nowhere to heal. Okay. Alright, guys. Should I pick spooky door number 1 or spooky door number 2? Blue or red? All right. I guess it's up to me. We're going blue, I guess. Spooky door number 1 it is. Broken. Ooh, whisper. Oh, such a cute puppy. Right, what's here? Female, male. I have no idea what my gender is, so I'm going in both. Zombie DJ. Ew. I don't know what to do. I'm not happy. I'm so ugly. And everyone treats me like I'm not even real. They're so pretty and perfect and they all have friends. But I'm just here. Oh, well, what happened here? What, did a baby explode? Kai. Ooh. Ruger ammo. Good, because I definitely panic used every single shot. It looks like daylight. Wow. Boom. Headshot. Alright, there used to be a door here, but there's no longer a door. There's a door here, though. Broken. Also broken. Also broken. But this one is open? Oh, there's words. Can't read it. This one is broken. All these doors are broken. Oh, I don't like this. It was a slow day when it happened. Only 2 trains even stopped here, and I didn't see her until it was too late. I heard her sobbing as she walked down the tracks. I wanted to run and save her, but I could hear the train. I just waited and listened. She must have regretted it at the last moment because I heard her scream. I can't stop her. She passes through the walls. All I can do is wait and listen. Oh, that's not good. Alright, I need to run. Yep. Gotta get out of here. Run. Oh, Jesus, fast. That was easy. No, easier than I thought it would be. What the hell? He's so nice. I feel like I met her again. He makes me feel real. He tells me that I met her. He doesn't think I'm so ugly. So is the girl haunting? Only when it's dark. I will give this game props for its low design. Monday is coming. For its low design, the shadow work for this game is pretty decent. Come on, you haven't put me down all the way. There you go. Oh, I don't like this. Waffle Paws, goat frame. Mr. Helking. Adam Lila Sky. Yup, I don't like it. Hello, shotgun. They're just giving me more weapons. Fatten the Welper Tinger? What the hell? Alright, so I need to... I don't think it really matters. Let's go left. Oh wait, no. I need to go right. Oh, well that's Lost State number 2, the clinic. What is that? I don't know, but I'm not liking it. There's only one book here. Miracles of Business. It smells like chemicals. The clinic is written on it. A riot police issue shotgun. It only fires rock salt rounds, so I don't think it'll do much damage. Oh, my health is back. That's good. There are other rooms down this way. I'm gonna go see. Oh, I can't. Great. I guess I really shouldn't rush into a situation. Should I just go for it? I feel like as soon as I do, a chase will start and I won't have time to explore. So I feel like exploring... There used to be a room there. It's no longer there. I don't know why, but that's always creepy. Rooms that no longer exist when you have a map. Hello. A pick lock set. I'm glad I came to pick that up. Broken. Broken. Looks like it's in this room. We have Ruger ammo. Good. And oh my gosh, ammo. It looks like there's supposed to be a room past the line, but I can't get past there. So we're going back. Glad I'm picking up all this ammo. Broken. Broken. Oh, well, that's not good. I think the other one was supposed to be for in case I didn't go to the other one. A secondary set. Whew, okay. Really? Oh, Jesus Christ. Get the hell away from me. Come on. Come on. Is there a lock on this? Stop it! Stop it! Let me out! Did I die? No. Okay. Let's get out of here. Let's go. Let's go, 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 go. Wait, no, this is the right room. Ah, shit, I lost my way. It's this way. What's down here? Oh, I'm not done. I'm not done. Running. Oh gosh, she's coming. All right, that's it. I'm done. That's all I had to do. Let's go back. God, I'm getting major anxiety on playing this. Oh, play tape. All right then. Loading. What? Oh. Oh, this isn't good. This is called the pound. Oh, Jesus! That really got me. Oh, that's not good. it's my puppy. Right? Is that what it's insinuating? So I stole my dog? I guess? The clinic. Oh, I don't like this. That's not good. I am not sick. Well, this is creepy. Why am I here? Let me out. Oh, I don't like this. Something's wrong with them. Oh, I just love crawling through tubes. I don't know why I thought whistling was going to help. I think I went the right way. It's hard to tell. Jeez. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. I did not enjoy that. Did not enjoy that in the slightest. I'm gonna save. You know what? I'm gonna save. Let's save. Yeah, let's save. Ah, there we go. Some relief. Not really, because I'm playing this game still. Turn it back on. Perfect. Let's go then. Let's get the hell out of here. She didn't seem to like the light. Someone's shoes. this is odd. Is it the same note? He makes me feel so much better sometimes, but I worry that I'm not good enough. He wants me to lose weight, and I'm really trying, but it's just so difficult. I look in the mirror and nothing's changed. Nope, stop it. Stop it. Stop. Ooh. All right then. Well, this looks kind of nice. Grand Bullen Avenue. Weird. Oh, jeez. Oh, well. Hello. Hello. Oh, I don't like the movements this is doing. That one's broken, apparently. Great. You guys are creepy. Alright. What else do we have? Let's head down here, I guess. That way seems broken. The door feels hot. Oh, great. Wonderful. Oh, I found the door to hell. It's just broke. It won't open. Covered in some kind of slime. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, that's okay. I don't know what that is, but it's definitely leaky. Alright, let's head back in. Alright, so you're broken. Locked. I don't like your movements. Okay. Weird. I'm not sure I understand. Nothing yet. Oh, well, that's not good. Okay, no hints or anything. Okay, let's be a brave boy here. Let's be a bit of a brave boy. That doesn't work. Oh. Corrosive. Why am I slow? Oh, did I start burning to death? I died. Okay. Alright, so I slipped. That's a lot of dead rats. Whoa! 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 What the hell? Holy shit. What the hell? I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Oh my god, is that my corpse? Gross. Disgusting. I'm so ugly. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get back. So I just heal naturally. That was... Whew. Stupid mirrors. Oh, I don't like this. There's absolutely no room if I need to get out of the way. Page 1. Life was too harsh. Love was lost forever. They hung from a ceiling fan, staring at the floor. Yeah, I know. What? Did it just... What the hell? Weird. That was a very odd train, I will admit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. off of me. Get off of me. Jesus Christ. Those things are tough. Built, trained tough. I feel like the best option is to simply run to avoid them if I encounter any more, instead of wasting ammo. I'm at 100 again, so... More shells! Yay! Broken. Wonderful. Excuse me? Restrooms, okay. Nothing bad ever happens in a bathroom. Alright. I don't know what to write. I'm not sure if it's good or bad. I don't know if it makes me happy or sad. I think we're going to have a child. Ew. Page 2. Life was too harsh, and a bridge was close by. They sank in water, gaping for the sky. Cool. Cool poem, bro. Definitely adding to the creepy atmosphere. More ammo, which is always lovely. There used to be a toilet there. Not anymore. I don't think there's anything creepier than the absence of a toilet. You're gonna open, aren't you? I knew it. Haha. What? Hey. Oh, well, this is wonderful. Now I have a knife. Why do I have a knife? Nix, what's up? Welcome to Spookies. I feel like this doesn't really help me. Run past it. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, that made me jump. That made me jump so hard. Oh, Jesus. Oh, you can suck it. Fuck you. Oh my gosh, I didn't think it was gonna break through the friggin' gate. It scared the crap out of me. Alright, I have a knife. What do I do with the knife? Do I cut some throats then? Oh. Still don't like how these moves are. Huh. Alright, we'll do 2 up. One, 2, 3, 4. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one back up. This one turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are creepy. Whoa. I think I broke their necks. That's how much I was turning them. Let's go save. I don't think there's another save point around. I kind of don't want to have to deal with cars that are trying to eat me too. Oh, well then. I thought this would lead out to the street, but I guess... My dog. Left. Oh. Okay. Oh. Right. Ammo. Picklock set. I guess I'm just supposed to hold it until I get it. I don't. Dog, I'm coming. To the right. This way then. Don't you guys just love it when you just crawl through open pipes that you have no idea where they lead? Oh, I'm lost. What in the... Don't think about it. Just don't think about it. Don't think about it. Oh, this is creepy. Why am I doing this? Can someone explain to me why I'm doing this again? Oh, good, I'm out. Wonderful. Oh, what the hell is that? Oh my god. Fucking die. It's like oh my god, it's like a giant slug creature. That was creepy. Why are they phasing through walls? I don't like that. Oh my god. Stop it. Oh my god, I'm at 23 health. Alright, I'm just gonna sit here and wait for myself to heal. I'm not healing. That's not good. Nope, I am healing. Okay. Maybe it's the amount of steps I take. It is. The more steps I take, the more I heal. Basically, I'm exercising the pain away. Yeah, already at 40. Ooh. Wow. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Can't hear my dog anymore. Wonderful. Schmack. Schmack. I'm at 69 health. Good enough. Nice. It's nice health. I'm at 73 now. Oh. Hell. Enough. No, stop it. What? Oh, that's not good. Why am I? Oh, okay. All right then. This looks like a save room. That doesn't look good. Save erased. I knew it. You're a dick game. Oh, shit. My saver was raised. Are you serious? Oh, so how are you feeling? I feel like everyone hates me and I hate myself. Your sense of self-worth is too influenced by body shape and weight. You don't judge others so harshly. You have worth, and you have beauty, but you are unable to see it. Your vision of yourself is distorted. Then how should I fix it? If I can't fix my body, then how do I fix my vision of myself? We are working together to fix it. But I will also write you a refill for your fluoxetine. Fluoxetine. Game saved. Right then. Okay, I am back here. All he talks about is how ugly I've become, how ugly I'm going to be. He tells me he's leaving. I feel so sick he hates me now, and I have all this responsibility, all because of this parasite inside me. I didn't think this would happen. I just did what I was told. I wanted him to be happy with me. Oh. Oh, it's so dark. Okay. It looks like I have 2 paths I can choose from. A beautiful girl, or whatever I can see in this. I think this is how I see myself. I am beautiful. I'm not an ugly monster. Parasites. I get it. I'm back to this choice. Maybe if I just keep seeing myself as beautiful, it will amount to something. Looks like it's not. Ooh. I see. I think I understand. The more I try to convince myself I'm beautiful, the more parasites attack. Fine, let's go one more time. Instead of facing them, I'll run from them. Oh, that's a mirror. Die, damn it. Okay. Other monsters attack. I gotta keep trying. Run past him. Try again. Oh, this might not work. I just realized. Oh, you're big. You're big. You're big. Stop moving. Depends. Are the frames here? Ow! He's hitting me. Alright, fine. Oh, jeez. Will this not continue until... let's try going back. I mean, it seems like I'm making progress. If it doesn't feel right. Oh god, there's two of them. They might kill me. They might kill me. Ooh. I got 11 health. I think I have to go spooky. I think I have to go this way. Alright, fine. I finally see myself as ugly. You happy now? Stool and lights. Oh. Maybe they're correct and wrong answers then. That doesn't look good. What about this way? I understand a little bit now. Oh. And now I'm looking a bit more realistic, right? I'm starting to recognize myself, maybe? Instead of being beautiful? Well, that's not good. An apple? That doesn't seem right. I'm gonna pass on the apple. Okay, nope. Oh. What if I run past him? He seems to be stuck, so... Oh. I get it. There is no escape. And I got him stuck. Great. Alright, fine. Kill me. Jeez. Oh god, I broke it. I can push you. I can push you all the way back to the room. Oh, come on. Those aren't doing anything. Can't kill you. Die. Okay. I guess we continue from last save. Oh, well, that wasn't good. Alright, let's try this again. I think I understand the whole symbolism of getting skinny and stuff. The whole point is eating again, because she's not eating. Right? Symbolism for trying not to be beautiful, but just being yourself. And yeah, that's definitely a lesson you can take from here. You shouldn't be trying to starve yourself in order to better yourself. I wasted all my ammo. Oh, I guess I didn't have much shotgun ammo in the first place. Yeah. What? I don't understand. I wasn't supposed to do that, was I? I see. Maybe I'm supposed to leave. Eat and be done. I've done what I needed to. Broken. Wait, then what am I supposed to do? Oh, the bars are fake. Because they don't want me to continue. They don't want me to do it. Okay, alright. You had me there for a moment, game. You can't trick me. And I'm gaining ammo for my fight against myself. The light over the TV is no longer on. The snack machine mirror's fixed. You can't stop me, Gate. You can't stop me, Mind. You're not allowed anymore. Take my baby, I guess. An antique knife used for preparing vegetables. It's slightly rusted and feels heavier than it looks. Was I the one who walked out in front of a train? some sense, I suppose. I was supposed to examine this, but okay. It seems like I'm going up. I waited in the dark for so long. I lashed out against anyone who got close. But someone kept pushing me into the light. It hurt me for a while. It doesn't hurt anymore. God. It seems like that's the case. Religion? Fixer? Is that what this is insinuating? Locked. I thought it was all wrapped up and good. Came to a revelation. I started eating. No, it looks like there's fucking more. Why? No, I don't want to go down. Ah. Someone save me from this hellish nightmare. All right? I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. What's this way? A map. Oh, great. This place should be empty, but the lights are on, and I hear something crawling around. Why keep the power on? Why? I can't find out what this place even is. I've tried to map it out, but it doesn't make sense. Oh. Alright. I'm not happy about this! Alright, Alright, I'm done. I don't want to do anymore. I'm scared. And I don't want to do anymore. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining me. This was, well, I would lie if I say it wasn't fun at least. So I thank you guys for joining me. I do appreciate it. Who do you think we should rate someone? Who's online right now? Let's see. Let's see who can we raid. Marcus is online. Never Lost BS is online. Don't really know him. Let's raid Marcus. Let's see. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. It has been a pleasure. If you guys want to see more, please let me know. I'll definitely come back to more spooky games if you guys suggest it. Anything else, just come let me know. I'll be happy to listen. Other than that, see you all next time. Enjoy the raid.